Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday evening, August 6, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren. And subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We see that we still have Tropical Storm Debbie right there across portions of the southeastern United States. And we still have that area of disturbed weather now to the south of Jamaica and Hispaniola. That's about to affect portions of Central America in general. So we've seen that the track of the system has changed, which is why we have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds, because remember, it was highlighted across the main development region and said to possibly affect Jamaica. Now it's said to pass to the south of Jamaica and affect portions of Central America. According to the Hurricane Center, they've stated here, showers and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave located over the Central Caribbean Sea remain limited, and the development of this system should be slow to occur while it moves over the Western Caribbean Sea and then interacts with Central America through the end of the week. The northern portion of the tropical wave could reach the southwestern Gulf of Mexico over the weekend, where environmental conditions appear marginally favorable for slow development. We see that they've given it a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours and that 20% of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. So we see that the probability has changed as well as the location of development has changed. These things happen. This is why we have to stay updated. It's all having to do with weather. Weather is forever changing. Nothing is set in stone. We have to take some of these model forecasts with a grain of salt sometimes, because not everything that we see being predicted is actually set to happen, which is why we have to stay updated to see exactly what unfolds. As it relates to what's going on with Debbie, she's still a tropical storm, still bringing a lot of life-threatening flash floods to portions of the southeastern United States, such as northern Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and section of southern North Carolina as well. She's right now a minimal tropical storm, packing winds of 40 miles per hour, and she's now moving towards the east-northeast over water, brushing the South Carolina coast. And then she's expected to move towards the north and then make landfall again across the United States. Then she's expected to decrease in intensity, going down back to a depression as she heads into portion of North Carolina, Virginia, and the northeastern portion of the United States. Let us focus our attention a bit on the tropical wave across the southern Caribbean, because yesterday we highlighted the fact that some of the moisture associated with this tropical wave would have affected portions of Jamaica, but I guess things have changed because the models are not seeing much of that at all. We're going to be focusing our attention on the timestamp, and we're just going to be going out to the next 3 days, that's the next 72 hours, and we're going to be looking for the green that represents the moisture. So the system is somewhere right here to the south of Haiti, to the south of Jamaica. And if we actually go to the next 72 hours in time, is it gonna load? Okay, there we have it. So it's starting to load, and we see, yes, the Euro is still in consensus that some of the moisture associated with it, the far northern portion of this tropical wave, actually makes it into portion of Jamaica. Look at this, it's this 12Z on Thursday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Thursday. But as we head out into the next 72 hours, we see that the moisture has pushed up towards the west. But look at what the GFS is showing. The GFS isn't as robust as it once was earlier this week. So we see the moisture associated with the tropical wave heading into portions of Costa Rica, Nicaragua right there, Central America in general. But Jamaica isn't getting as much rainfall as once thought. This is 18D on Thursday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Thursday. And we see some dots of greens that represent moisture to the south of Jamaica. Maybe some of it making it across the island, but nothing as robust as what was seen on the Euro or what was predicted earlier this week. So this is what we're talking about. The models can definitely change, and we can see that in the accumulated precipitation forecast maps. Euro showing a bit more rainfall for the time frame from now up until 12Z on August 9. So that's 12Z on Friday, which is actually 7 a.m. on Friday. The Euro still believing that some amount of rainfall could affect sections of Jamaica associated with the northern portion of this tropical wave. The GFS, not so much, bringing more of the rainfall as represented by these yellows, gold, oranges, and reds, even purples, into portions of Central America. Maybe a section of Western Jamaica getting in on some of the afternoon rainfall, but that's as much as it gets in terms of the rainfall from this tropical wave. But as we head out into time, things could change as the atmosphere becomes even more favorable across the Atlantic. So we're going to be looking at the U.S. Climate Prediction Center's Global Tropics Hazards Outlook for the time period from August 14 to August 20, as well as August 21 to August 27. And we're going to be focusing our attention on this at the bottom left. That's the key that shows the tropical cyclone formation probability in the red and white patterns, as well as the red that represent anywhere from 20 to 40% chance. And we're going to be zooming in a bit right here on this map, and we can see that they've highlighted portions of the Caribbean, the southwestern portions of the Atlantic, so the Bahamas, and even the Gulf of Mexico for some amount of cyclone formation. Just a 20% chance, especially near Jamaica, for the time period from August 14 to August 20. And we see that even the time period from August 21 to August 27 still has that low probability chance of something forming, possibly a tropical wave. We can definitely see the pattern. More than likely some kind of tropical wave pushing from east to west across the main development region, possibly developing. And we see that they've increased the probability in the center of that area. So where we have the reds and not just the white and red patterns, that's where the chances are higher. So maybe a 40% chance to the north of the Greater Antilles, across portion of the Leeward Islands, and we'd rather it out to sea, to be honest. And even for the time period from August 21 to August 27, we see a higher chance of development, but we see that most of it is directed more so in an east, southeast, west, northwest kind of pattern, in a sense possibly missing the Caribbean. That's what we are wanting to happen. We don't want these systems to be developing and heading into portions of the Caribbean. It cannot handle the bad weather, the power outages, the internet connection, or the internet disconnection at all. Either way, I'll keep you posted on what happens. We know sometimes these forecasts from the Climate Prediction Center are not 100% accurate. They're not set in stone, especially considering the time period. This is far out in advance, and even the Hurricane Center's forecast, that's even just 7 days in advance, is not that accurate. So we just have to stay tuned to see exactly what unfolds. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see that the entire Atlantic basin is being dominated by a ridge of high pressure that we know is responsible for sending everything from east to west, all the way from Africa across the main development region into the Caribbean. You can see the tropical wave right here. That's the one that we just mentioned. And we also have two other tropical waves across the main development region. One right here equidistant from Africa and the Caribbean, and another one right here affecting portions of the Cabo Verde Islands. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with Debbie still spinning away across portions of the southeastern United States, still bringing clouds, showers, and thunderstorms to those states. Some possible flooding still occurring as we speak, and more to come. You can see clouds associated with another tropical wave affecting portions of Central America already. I guess it's already pushing most of the moisture into Central America already. Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and it's gonna be bringing even more moisture as we head into tomorrow. Clouds associated with the other tropical wave equidistant from Africa and the Caribbean, and clouds associated with the other tropical wave affecting portion of the Cabo Verde Island. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Tuesday, August 6th. It was stated that parts of central and western parishes in Jamaica would have received some afternoon rainfall. And we know central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, so St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clan, and St. Catherine. Western parishes, and we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? Around 4:05 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted here on our Twitter page. And I want for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So around 4:05 p.m., the infrared satellite image was posted and highlighted some clouds, bringing some overcast skies and some isolated thunderstorms to sections of Westmoreland, section of Hanover, section of St. Elizabeth, even portion of Manchester got in on the action as well. And we definitely have a comment here from one of our followers on our Facebook page confirming the rainfall in her area, Nisha Badwa, stating, "We're having it in Mandeville right now," and that was posted an hour ago. And if you take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see exactly what unfolded. We saw more of the low-level flow of clouds coming in more so from the northeast. Most of that air piling up across section of some central and western parishes, so we definitely had some thunderstorms. And we saw the high cold cloud toss being blown off towards the west-southwest by the upper level wind shear. As a matter of fact, even before the sun was starting to go down, we were seeing some clouds popping up across portions of northwestern St. Andrew, portions of St. Catherine as well, right here. Maybe some early evening, afternoon isolated showers for northern St. Catherine, western St. Andrew right there. And if we take a look at the infrared satellite images to see exactly what unfolded, we can see the high cold cloud tops as represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, and reds. Not to mention the sparkling white dots that represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. So we see that it was more so confined to southern Hanover, sections of Westmoreland, sections of northern St. Elizabeth. Manchester definitely got in on the thunderstorm activity for sure. And we can see that rainfall that we just mentioned at the end of the satellite image right there across portions of northern St. Catherine. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can reload the images right now so that we have the very latest to see what's happening across Jamaica right now. So the very latest image is as of 55 minutes past the last hour. So this is as of 6:55 p.m. and we still have the clouds right there, bring some isolated showers to section of northern St. Catherine as we speak. And if we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, this should show the latest image as of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7 p.m. Jamaica time. And we do see the dots of greens and even yellows in there that represent some isolated showers. If we look a bit close, let's see if we can zoom in a bit. Right there, you can definitely see it across portion of northern St. Catherine, western St. Andrew right there. So they're definitely getting on some isolated showers as we speak. If you take a look at the temperatures right now, we can say about 28 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Wednesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And we still see much of the same. Jamaica embedded in some yellow, gold colors that we know represents up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of August are about the same as July, 91 degrees Fahrenheit. We take a look at the thermometer, that's about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So it should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 34 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Wednesday. So please ensure that you stay out of the sun during peak hours and you stay hydrated. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, We can see Jamaica right here still getting in on some amount of Saharan dust with those brown colors. But we're glad that it's not that vigorous plume that we see across the main development region, that darker shade of brown that we know can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of asthma or sinusitis issues in some persons. Either way, all of this is pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure to the north. What we're hoping happens is that by the time it gets to the central and western Caribbean where Jamaica is located, it has dwindled down like this Saharan dust plume that we're being affected by. Not to say that this can't trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons or cause hazy skies, but this is what we don't want to see at all, that very dark shade of brown that represents that vigorous plume. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we see much of the same that we've been receiving for the past month. 0.5 meter wave heights to 1.5 meter wave heights as represented by the lighter shade of blues to darker shades of blues, like what we see on the key on the bottom right. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all. We see bluish colors, some dull greens, and some bright green colors that represent anywhere from 5 to 10 up to 20 knot winds. And we see the general direction for the Caribbean's winds across the central to the western Caribbean, or from the eastern to the central Caribbean, from the east maybe curving to the north, so maybe a kind of east-southeasterly flow. We also see the strong winds associated with Debbie right there off the southeastern coast of the United States. The strong winds associated with the tropical storms across portions of the eastern Pacific as well. So it all makes sense that those spots are getting some high wave heights with those purples, burgundies, and where the winds are strong, that's where the wave heights are going to be strong as well. But let's just take a closer look at the wind forecast for Jamaica for tomorrow. We can see that the air is definitely going to be piling up across sections of some central and western parishes again. That's where we have the blues. So we're going to be having the least amount of winds, anywhere from 0 maybe up to 10 knot winds. And we see the general direction for the winds coming in from the east across the island. So all of that air is going to be piling up across these areas again, sections of central and western Jamaica. And we know what usually happens, those cumulus clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, forming some thunderstorms during the afternoon. As usual, we have the daytime heating, the diurnal convection. And the upper-level winds still should be coming in from the east-northeast, just like what we had today, with those high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the west-southwest. So we might still see more of that again. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps, section of central and western Jamaica still going to be getting on more rainfall. We see the blues right here. Definitely portions of northern Clarendon, northern St. Catherine, northern Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, sections of St. Anne. Not everywhere in every parish going to be getting rainfall, but we do see the consensus that for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, that's where the rainfall is going to be. Euro also in consensus with this, even although it's trying to incorporate more of southern and eastern Jamaica, but we don't see that on the GFS at all. So we're more inclined to believe what both of them are showing. So definitely central and western Jamaica, more so inland areas of some central parishes. And even during the night time, keep in mind that this is valid for 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, which is actually 11 p.m. on Wednesday. So in the night, we see that the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that there's going to be some amount of blue colors that we know represents rainfall across maybe some southern and eastern parishes. So maybe some nighttime rainfall in store to cool down temperatures. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Don't get your hopes up, because we know these maps are not 100% set in stone at all. They're like crystal balls, but they're not 100% accurate one bit. So we'll see exactly what unfolds. For right now, they're in consensus for some nighttime rainfall around 11 p.m. on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Either way, both accumulated precipitation forecast maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that central and western Jamaica are going to be getting rainfall within the next 24 hours. Keeping in mind that both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 3 on Thursday. When calculated, that's about 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So up to 0.5 an inch of rainfall on GFS. Euro a bit less robust, showing more of these yellow colors, maybe up to 0.28 of an inch of rainfall, even incorporating eastern Jamaica. But we're more inclined to believe central and western Jamaica are going to be getting most of the rainfall. And we're indeed grateful. We're in the month of August. We usually receive an increase in the amount of rainfall during the month for Kingston, whose bar graph is at the top, and Montego Bay, whose bar graph is at the bottom. Montego Bay's bar graph is in inches, usually receiving almost 5 inches of rainfall for August. Kingston's bar graph is in millimeters, usually receiving almost 100 millimeters of rainfall for August. You can do the math yourself, considering that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. And you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about the annual rainfall for your specific parish. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we do have some clouds bring some rainfall to portions of Central America, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama associated with a tropical wave. We also have some stray clouds coming into portions of the Windward and Leeward Islands, some thunderstorms across sections of Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Northern South America as usual. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see those greenish colors represent some light to moderate rainfall right now as of 10 minutes past 7. Definitely the waters in and around Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, especially to the east, getting on some isolated showers as they speak. Nothing much taking place elsewhere. But if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some isolated showers to the north of Barbados, heading into portion of Dominica, Martinique, section of St. Lucia getting on the action, St. Vincent and the Grenadines too. Grenada got on some isolated showers earlier. Even section of Trinidad and Tobago with that northeasterly flow, they're definitely going to be getting some more rainfall this evening. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall affecting portions of Central America, Guatemala, the Yucatan Peninsula right there. Is it gonna load? Doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's glitched out. Okay, here we go. Alright, so we see some isolated shores across section of French Guiana, the Windward Islands like we just mentioned, on the Barbados radar. We can also see some isolated showers on the Colombian radar right there, and even portions of Honduras getting in on some of the rainfall. If we take a look at where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours from now up until 10 p.m. on Wednesday, we can see that there's still some rainfall in store for a section of the Bahamas, all courtesy of the outer bands from Debbie. Some rainfall definitely going to be in play for a section of especially eastern Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, western Jamaica especially, section of southwestern Puerto Rico. We can see some rainfall in store for a section of that's Guadeloupe, Dominica, areas to the south of there as well. So maybe Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, sections of Honduras as well. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of such happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.